Hi guys, Debbie here. Thanks for joining me again. This will be part 7 to completing our 2 signature no-sew junk journals. So we started right from the beginning and we've worked our way through. We have our signatures in the book. We've done some decorating. Today we are going to make some little fabric and paper clusters to put on the pages of our books. So just to give you an example, if you were sewing a journal, and this is a previous journal that I've made, it's a completed journal. So you can see here I've put a little fabric cluster on here. So it's just 2 little pieces of fabric. One's a little piece of lace and one's a piece of fabric, and this one I have actually stitched. But this is a no-sew journal, so I want to show you that you can do these little clusters, make them really sweet without sewing. All you need is a little bit of fabric glue, which we're using our high tack, or Aileen's original tacky works just fine. It holds paper and fabric together, and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's just the effect that we're looking for. We're not going to cram our books full of them. We're just going to sporadically put them here and there just to add a little personality and interest to our journals. Okay, let's get going. So I'm just going to get my journal out the way. Supplies you will need: some fabric scraps, and any old fabric scraps will do. These are just little bits and pieces that I have lying in my in a drawer that I have every time I cut something up. Sometimes old clothing, sometimes it's quilting squares that I've been given, and I actually even purchased a little package of quilting squares on Amazon, and they came little squares like that. I think if you're a quilter you would find this very poor quality. It's thin and almost see-through. It's easy to rip, but as a junk journaler this is absolutely perfect. The cheaper and the lesser the quality, the better, quite frankly. So I was quite pleased with them. If I was a quilter, not so much. Anyway, that. And you just need any paper at all. I happen to have some scraps of my dyed paper, but you can use plain white paper. You can use coffee dyed paper. Actually don't even need to use paper, but I like to use paper because I want to glue. This will be the background, and I want to glue that onto my page. So I just think I'll have to use less glue, and I think paper on paper is going to be more secure than fabric on paper. Or not. That's just the way I'm going to do them. Anyway, so I'm going to grab some little pieces of paper, and I think I'm going to go with a couple of colors, and I'm just going to, this is one here. And what I like to do, just because I like old and shabby, as you probably noticed from my previous videos, I'm going to scrunch it up. I'm literally going to scrunch it up. You do not have to do this. Absolutely do not have to do this. But this is what I like to do because I want that aged, shabby chic effect. So there's one piece. Literally scrunch it up. Scrunch it up. Okay. And open that out. Come on. There's my other piece. And this one. Okay. We're not going to make tons and tons of these because I do not want to put a whole bunch in my journal. I just maybe want 4 on one signature and 4 on the other signature, maybe even 3. We'll see as it goes. This one's already scrunched up, so that just works fine. Okay, now I'm going to, I want them round about that size. So hold your thumb and your forefinger out, round about that size. So I'm literally just going to tear some shapes. That's fine. There's one. And I think I'll do another one of those. There's 2. I'm going to do some green. There's 3. And 4. Just rip it like that. 4 and yeah, there's no symmetry to these at all. They're all just as they come, as they come. I think I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm going to do a yellow one as well. So I'm just going to rip that off. Not that you're actually going to see them, but perhaps I will lay my fabric so that you can see some of the color. That was my idea. That's why I'm using color. Otherwise, just use plain old coffee dyed paper. But whatever you decide to do, there's no wrong and there's no right. And there's no better and there's no more attractive. It's just the way it is. Just whatever you come up with, I promise you, it all comes together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think I'm going to do 8 just in case I decide to go 4 in each. If you're going to make future junk journals, now that you know how to put one together, once you've done this, you'll be able to make it all by yourself without instruction. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, I think I'm going to make 8. Yes, so as I was saying, if you're going to be making junk journals from here on out for yourself or for gifts, start now for Christmas, by the way, you can, these are fun things to do sitting watching TV. So have a little desk lamp and have your TV table, sit and watch a movie and sit and put these together. It's a fun way to do it. Anyway, so now I am just going to go through my fabric bits, and honestly, I do not want to put too much thought into this. And what I normally do is I usually just mussy them up at the ends. So there's something, and there, and I'm going to cut a little piece of this organza. I love this organza. You can buy it from the dollar store, and then I just fray the edges. So I'm going to start with 1. So I've got there. I think that's a little bit long, so I'm just going to see how easy that drips. It's crazy. So there's a nice shabby edge there, and I'm going to leave it like that. That there. And I think I might just I think I'm going to have that a little bit shorter, so I'm going to snip that. Don't get rid of that. We might just use that like that. Like that. But you know what I'm going to tell you to do, because you know that I know by now that I love them. I am going to lay some strings, some of these threads. I guess they're threads, not strings. And I'm just going to just grab a bunch, and then I'm going to snip, and I'm going to lay them. I'll probably lay them just there. So I want them hanging out somewhere. So I think I'm going to go for hanging out the edge, sometimes hanging down the bottom, sometimes hanging out the edge. So there and there. So that will be 1. That will be 1. So that's as simple as that, as simple as that. And I like that color scheme. Put that aside. Now I'm going to go for something else. Here I have another little piece of fabric, and I'm going to just rip that. There we go, nice and shabby. I'm going to grab a green one. There we go. And I'm going to grab some thread. There we go. I'm going to lay the thread like that. There we go. And I am going to have a different kind of lace over here. So I think I'm just going to just cut out a little pattern here. You can see there's got like a little flower there. So I'm just going to go around and cut that, and I'm going to fray the edges like that. Put that aside. And like that. And that's fine for me. I don't want anything more than that. I don't want to build it up too heavy, because I definitely don't want to have a huge bulk in my book. Because don't forget, the object of our journals is to journal. So if I'm writing on this side of the paper, I don't want it to be so bulky that my ballpoint pen or my gel pen, my ink pen, whatever it is that I'm using, is going to poke through, because it'll be like writing a letter on a quilt. And we don't want that. So we don't want it too bulky. I don't anyway. I want my journal to be exactly what it is meant to be. I want to be able to journal in it, and I want it to be predominantly a journal as opposed to a beautiful book filled with lots of interesting things that actually becomes more of a coffee table piece than a journal. So make it beautiful, make it busy, but still keep in mind that it's a functional journal. So that's what we want to do here. Oh, I like those colors. I think I have these sort of colors in my journal. So, and you have, if you have one of my oh my goodness, excuse my stuttering and stammering here. My kits, there are there's a variety and quite a lot of fabric pieces. You'll think to yourself, jeepers, do I have to use all of this? Well, absolutely no, you don't. You don't have to use it all at all. Okay, I think that's going to be on this one. Just get those out the way like that. I think I might go for a little flimsy lace with this. I'm just going to cut a piece off the edge here. Oof, these threads are all sticking to me. There we go, like that. Okay, I kind of like the white contrast with that. So there'll be some lace sticking out the bottom over there. And of course I need my threads. So let me grab some threads. Yeah, they're getting into a big knot here. Okay. There we go. So literally just grab some, fold it over. I'm going to snip that so that they're not way too long, and of course I'll snip them afterwards as well. I'm going to lay those over there like that, and the glue will keep them all together. I think this needs a little something there, so I'm going to add something there. What should I add? I think I'm going to add a little frayed bit here. There we go. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to pull some of that out, and I'm add a little something like that. There we go. There goes one. So 1, 2, 3. Now what should we do with this one? I'm going to start with a little bit of this lace like that, and to lay that on there, and I kind of like that like that. And I'm going to, this already has a little bit of a frayed edge on the bottom. It's the finish, I guess, of the bolt, which turned out quite nice for me. I'm going to keep it that way. So pull those little bits off. I'm going to lay that like that. And I don't think I need too much there. Let's see here. Maybe a tiny little piece there. Let's see. Here's a little bit. How about that? Just like that. So I'm going to grab some threads. Yeah, a bunch of threads there. Definitely getting into a knot there, and I'm going to snip that, lay those at the bottom over there, so we have some threads hanging out there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's do one more for luck. Okay, let's do, that's kind of sweet. I think that one there, I think I'm going to stick with that one there. Possibly, like that, and I'm going to do another one of these little cutouts here. I'm going to use this lace that I have. It's like a crocheted lace, and have a look around your house. You might find that there's things in your own house that you can use. You know, those hankies that you've had in your drawer that you were given as a gift years ago, and nobody uses hankies, but they're so pretty. Sometimes people can't resist buying them to give them to you for Christmas or for your birthday. They go in a drawer. They're too pretty to throw out, and you don't want to give them away. Well, now you know what? Put them down into prosperity in your junk journal. They're it's a good use of them. There we go. I'm going to stick with those, and let's get gluing here, because you get the picture. I didn't put too much thought into this. I literally just grabbed things, put them together. However they come together is they always look really sweet. You can build them up. You can, you know, if you've got some little butterflies, you want to stick some little butterflies on there, or if you have what else? It's something flat. You could do little cardboard cutouts to put on here, like as I say, like a little butterfly, for instance. I wouldn't put buttons on. Buttons look really, really sweet unless it's going to be hanging out the page and you put a button over there. But for me personally, as I've said, I want my journal to be practical. I want to be able to write in it, and I don't want my pen to go through. So I'm not going to put a button there, because when I'm writing on maybe this side of the page, if that's what I'm writing on, then I've got this big bump to go over, and it's just a hindrance for me. I've tried it and it didn't work for me. But not to say it wouldn't look really sweet if you put it down there, because you can make these hang out of your pages, which is kind of fun. Okay, let's get them gluing here. Okay, the glue's flowing nicely. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to just put a little dab right like that. And I'm going to lay my thread right on there, just like that, just like that. The rest, it's all hanging out, and we'll snip them afterwards, no worries. Now that is almost enough glue to get the next layer on. I'm just going to put a little bit there. And this was my next layer. And I'm making sure that the shabby bits are hanging out. And then I'm going to put this little one over here. A little goes a long, long way. Like that. There you go. And there you have that. And then we will snip our thread so that there aren't any loops. And there you have it. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. On to the next one. I'm going to put my first layer on, which was the organza. I'll lay that there. And then I'm going to put my thread on. Fun part about working with glue, as careful as you try and be, you do always, Murphy's Law, without fail, get it on your fingers. So like that. I'm going to hardly touch that. And then I'm going to grab this, make sure I put the shabby bits on the end. There, like that. And I'm going to lie that over my thread and just gently pat it down, and that will keep that thread, once it's dry, is not going anywhere. Just not. And there. And I'm going to lay that like that. And there's another one. It doesn't have to be straight. There we go. Let's get to this one over here. So I'm going to put the glue down. The next thing we're going to be doing, well, not the very next thing, but soon, we're going to be working on our dangles. So what I want you to do is go into your jewelry box, or wherever it is that you hang your costume jewelry. Maybe it's in a drawer somewhere. You know, that stuff that you never wear anymore. Go and have a look at it. And is there anything there that you're willing to sacrifice and pull apart to now go down into prosperity in your junk journal? I did that. I had so much costume jewelry, cheap stuff. I'm not talking anything fancy here. I'm just talking cheap stuff. I had so much of it that we don't go anywhere, or I don't dress up that much to go out to wear it. And it's just hanging, literally just hanging. So I went through and I picked some pieces out and I pulled it apart, and now those are the fun things that I use as dangles. I put them in my books, and it's surprising. When I'm journaling, I'll turn a page and there hangs a little bead, and I remember where I got it from, what I used to wear it with. But now I'm seeing it, now I'm enjoying it. So do that. Go and have a look at your jewelry. If you've got a drawer full of buttons or a tin full of buttons, do the same. Go and bring them, because there are buttons in your journal, in your kit. You may find that you want more. You might want your dangles to be really busy. So go and have a look. Add your beads, add your dangles. You'll be surprised where you can use all of that stuff. So I'm going to push that on there. I do believe there's enough. And when I put the next layer of glue here, it's going to go through those holes anyway and just reinforce that. And I'm going to put that there like that. And I'm going to put this little piece here. You can go afterwards and glue on some sequins if you wanted. You know, maybe you wanted just a couple little sequins down. You just dab, sequin, dab, sequin, dab, sequin. That's all. And leave it to dry, and those sequins are not going to go anywhere. Sequins are nice and flat. They add a little sparkle. just a little sparkle. I like this one. I like the color combo here. So I'm going to put some glue on there like that. Put my first layer on like that. Oh, look, my threads are there, so I'm just going to dab some glue on there. Get my next layer on. Okay, don't go anywhere. There you go. Put my next layer on, and I'm going to make sure that this hangs out. So this is going to be dangling out that side a little bit. And I'm going to put the last layer on here. So you can see I didn't put too much thought into this. I just had a look at what I had and use whatever you have. And you know, you might think that the colors are not coordinating. It's not what you were hoping it was going to be. Honestly, get them done, put them together. Then you're going to let them dry overnight. So I am going to put these aside and let them dry overnight. So let's put those aside. Then I am going to grab my book. Okay, let's get all of that aside like that. Grab my book and let's decide where it is we're going to be putting these. So I have some that I did a couple of days ago. I'm going to show you. I did them a couple of days ago, and they're pretty much what we did today. They have the paper on the back and the crinkly paper. So here they are. I am going to go through my book. How many did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So I am going to put 4 per signature. But the first thing we're going to do before we put these in there is we are going to put our tabs on, these being our tabs. And the reason we're going to do that, because these are where we're going to be hanging our little dangles. We have little jewels to hang on here, which are in your kit. If you're making one on your own and you don't have a kit, go and find some little beads, make little dangles, and then let's put them on here. You can use a safety pin, you can use a little, I guess they're called little loop pins, which I bought on Amazon. I'll show you, that you hang them on. You don't have to, but I just like that. It just adds a little interest to your journal. So that's what we're going to do. And here are my tabs. All right, here's my tabs. So I'm going to have 3 tabs. I just want 3. I don't need any more than that. So I am going to have a look at the one that I put it in previously. So what I normally do is I find the center of my book, okay, and then so I want one near the front, I definitely want one near the back, and then I want one nearish the middle. So you've got top, middle, and lower. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to come to the front of my book, and this is a good place for me to start. So I am going to use one of these tabs, and I'm going to put one tab here. The next one will go in the middle, and then the next one will go on the bottom. So let me just move that up, and I'm going to put some glue on, and we're going to get our tabs in. So it's just a couple of little dabs. That's all you need. A couple of little dabs like that. So I want about a 1/2 inch overhang. I think some of these I might have done a little bit more, but about a 1/2 inch. That one I think I did a bit more, but is there a hard and fast rule? Absolutely not. So I'm going to lay it like that, and I'm just going to pull it up. It's probably not the smartest thing because I've got glue there, so I should have put it in place first, but anyway, you get the picture. So like that, and that is plenty for me. So now I'm going to put some on here. Okay, just like that. That's more than enough. So make sure that you fold it in half. You do not need to put glue up in here. Do not need to. Just leave that soft and floppy is what we want. Okay, so I'll just put that on there. Now, and there you have one in place. Perfectly, just perfect. Okay, now I'm going to move somewhere near the middle. Somewhere near the middle. There's my middle. There's my middle. So I think I'm going to, this is probably another really good spot for it. So I'm going to do one right over here. So I have these 2 left, and I'm going to put this one in the middle. And what I should have done here is put some thread in, and I forgot to show you that. So let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. I'm going to get a thread, a couple of threads here, couple of threads like that. And I'm just going to peel that back. It's fine. It's fine. It'll all go back together. Put a little bit of glue there, like that. And I'm going to lay my thread across like that, just like that, into the glue, like that, and then I'm going to close that up. There we go. Nobody would even know that we'd forgotten to put it in. There we go, like that. So I'm going to turn that over, and then this time we're going to remember to put it in. So here we are. I'm going to use this one. Here. We open that up. Come on. There we go. So I want about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to glue from there in. So I won't make the mistake like I did last time. Let me fold that. I'm going to put some glue on, just a little bit of glue. Okay, honestly, you don't need a lot. So I'm going to grab some threads. And why threads? For no reason, really. For no reason. I just like threads. I love it when you sew a journal and you have those shabby little bits of threads hanging out. I just like it. So that's why I'm doing it on here. You absolutely do not have to do that. Okay, I'm going to put that like that, and then I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. And now I'm going to glue this piece there. So the threads are on the other side. I don't need threads both sides. And you don't even need threads. If you want to put them in, that's great. If you don't, then that's fine too. If you don't have threads from any frayed threads, some embroidery floss is great. Just pull the embroidery floss apart, or some strings of cotton, actually, just like from a spool of cotton that you would sew with. Just like wrap around your hand a couple of times, and then take it off your hand, and then snip it, and then lay it out flat, and those will be your threads. So and we will come back through and snip all of these when the glue is dry, or not even when the glue is dry. That's just fine. Now I'm going to go to the back of my book. So I've got one over here at the top, one in the middle, and now I'm going to go to the back, and why not? I think I'm just going to do it on the back page for ease. I'm going to put one right over there. So here it is here, like that. So I'm going to fold that back like that. And I'm going to grab some thread again. There we go. Here's my thread. So let me put some glue on. Just a little bit of glue like that and that. Like that. Get my big old fingers out the way, like that. Okay, I'm going to lay my thread across, like that. Now I'm going to pick that up and put it on my book, like that. Just gently push it closed. And let's put some glue on here, like that. Couple of dabs is all you need. Fold that over. Believe me, once it's glued on here, it's not going anyway. Come on, over you go, like that. And there you have it. This one I might have, I'm going to pull it in just a little bit there. Might have made it a little bit wide, but that's fine. No rules here. If it hangs way out your book, it hangs way out your book. No worries at all. So as we go, we will snip these threads. So those are in. Let's get our snippets, our clusters, I guess they're called, these little clusters, and go through. So I'm going to apply the same rule again. I want to put 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what I decided. That's what I decided. You decide as many as you want, or as few as you want, or none at all. So I am going to do, say, 2 on this side of my middle and 2 on that side of my middle. That just helps me make the book a little bit more symmetrical. That's the only reason why. What goes on here? Oh, a little bit of glue stuck there. Okie dokie, that's fine. So I'm going to find page 1. let's see here. Let's see. There's a nice page. I think I'm going to start. So you can see here, I have a piece of fabric sticking out at the top over there. So I think I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to have a little bit of the paper sticking out, and that's just fine. I don't mind that at all. Shabby edges on your paper and shabby pieces hanging out just makes for a fun journal. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this cluster. Sorry if I was off camera. Back of that cluster, and then I am going to, that's plenty. I am going to stick that right there with just a little overhang. You can see that there's a little bit of an overhang going on here, and that's just fine. So here's my point. When I am writing in my journal over here, when I start writing over here, is it a little bit lumpy? Yes, it is, but not enough that it's going to hinder you from writing. But if you had a big button or something else sewn on there, or something really bulky, it's going to be too much. I mean, not that you couldn't put something there so that you journal around it, but that's just my way of thinking. Whatever works for you is fine. So that's one. And another one, I'm just, as you can see, I'm just grabbing randomly here. Where's my middle? Where's my middle? There's my middle. So I am going to go, how about that? Yeah, I'm going to put this one at the bottom. Yes, I'm going to put that one at the bottom. So I'm going to just add some, and I like that because you can see now that the thread is all hanging out and it's just shabby beautiful. Shabby beautiful. Okay, let's do that. Put some glue on. You don't have to be as liberal as this. That came out a little bit heavy. So I'm just going to put that like that with a little bit of an overhang. Gently press it on. And there we go. There we go. This is not a journaling page, but this would be a great page to paste some photographs or paste a memory or put another tuck pocket on here. So, or paste another piece of coffee dyed paper for journaling, or lined paper, or whatever it is. Let the journaler use their imagination as well. We don't want to do everything for them. Okay, and we've got two more. Let me do that one and this for there. 1, 2. Two more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. But I've already put 2 in, right? I put 2 in, 1 and 2. So yeah, there's a good spot for 1. Here's a good spot for 1. This is looking a little. This one's looking a little lonely, frankly. Yeah, just a little lonely. I'm going to put one right there. Go right there. I'm going to put one right there so it's hanging out the bottom. Okay, let's get that there. And then that provides some journaling higher up. Too much hanging out the bottom. So just a little bit, you can see. I'll show you the page here. So a little bit hanging out the bottom of the page is fine. Okay. Seem to have 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah, I made more than I thought. Okay, let's go through here. Yeah. There's the middle. Okay. Let's see. How about one over there? I think that looks kind of nice there. And let's just go back a little bit here. And how about one there? There, or even there. I think that looks quite sweet. Okay, let's stick with this here. Okay, a little bit of glue on the back of that, and let's put that there with a little bit of an overhang. That's just fine, like that. Get your strings hanging out there, and then this one here I'm going to put over here. Maybe down the bottom over here actually, because I like the lace up there, so let's do that. Okay. Like that. And this one won't have any overhang. There'll be enough thread hanging out of here. This one I did the thread on the top, so I did a gob of glue on the top. This glue dries clear. And then I just very, very gingerly dropped my thread on the top, and with my nail, frankly, just patted it in and left it to dry. And then afterwards, some came off, and then whatever stayed behind, I just left it there. So there we have it. There we have it. These ones will go into my journal at the back, but I will do that off camera. I just wanted to show you these. So there you have it. Let's take a little flip through here so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So, oh, we may as well snip these as we go as well. So I'm just doing a little snipping. Snip. There we go. There we go. Those ones are fine. Those ones don't need too much snipping. Let's see what goes on here. We'll do some snipping over here. So I like about ½ an inch to 3/4 of an inch hanging out with my threads. That's when I'm sewing. That's usually what I leave on, and I'll show you. So here is a sewn journal, and you can see there's just so many threads and shabby bits all hanging out all over the show. And it catches my eye, and I don't know, it makes me smile. It just makes me smile. So if we're doing a no-sew journal and we're gluing, why the heck not? Why shouldn't we have that as well? Excuse me, pardon me, sorry. Okay, and there we have another nice little cluster. You see how they add interest? Maybe one that comes out there, we'll just leave it at that. And here we're going to let us snip. I'm going to snip. There's a loop there, and we'll snip the loop and snip that. And let's snip those. There we go. I hope I'm not off camera, guys. There we go. Another cluster with some threads hanging out the bottom. You can see this one, the packet was too small, too big for this particular journal that I'm making. I think I used scrap ends of the leaf bag to make the cover, and it was smaller than what I normally make. That's why I had to cut the 8.5 inches down. And the bag was too big as well, so I had to sew it. And so you can see here we have some threads that I always leave. Okay, let's go. There we go. Okay, and there's a... Okay. All good. There's another little cluster over there. Looking good. You see how it just adds personality. You turn your page and you suddenly come to something where there's a little something that you weren't expecting to be there, and I think it's a happy surprise, and it just adds personality. So here's another one. We're going to do some snipping over here. There we go. We will snip there. I do believe I've been using my sewing scissors, bad me, for cutting paper quite by accident, and they're not as sharp as they used to be, so I need to stop doing that. Okay, so there we have it. There we have our tabs in, and we have our little fabric clusters in. So that is it for now, guys. We are going to continue on the next video making, what are we doing on the next video? We're going to start making some cards to slip into the pockets. Cards, and giving some more writing opportunities to stuff into the pockets and the little hidey hole pockets as well, like the packets for one behind there. And where is our packet? Oh, into our little pockets. And then the brown paper bags, which are also pockets. They're in here somewhere. I'm just not getting to them, but that's what we're going to do. So thank you for joining me. Go and make those fabric, those little fabric clusters. Put them in your book. put your tabs on and go and look for some old jewelry, those old beaded jewelry, those earrings. You've got one that you have lost and the other one is sitting in your jewelry box. If it has great value, of course, you're not going to hang it in your journal. But if it's just one of those lovely costume ones and it's lost its partner, bring it to the table and let's get it into your book. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining me. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.